My degree is in printmaking from ETSU. I was going to not go back to college, and my friend Mike came and taught me. He said, "You come back to school and don't quit now. You've only got a semester left or something." But man, I was beat and broke ass and beat. And I said, so anyway, I decided to go back, and I went to my professor, and at the time, he said, who was the longest tenured professor in the history of the Board of Regents system, John Steele. And he said he worked at where I could get a studio with the graduate students, and I pretty much had an autonomous last year of school. It was awesome. One day he came to visit me in my studio, and he said, "Hey, Bill, I've got a situation that I think if I don't graduate somebody in printmaking, that they're going to do away with the program." And so he asked if I would change my degree to printmaking, which I didn't give a flip. And I said, sure. And I went to the administration building or whatever that sort of thing is, and whatever I did, and changed it. I always thought we should just get degrees in creativity or art or something and not worry about the particulars, but so I didn't really care. So that's how I got a degree in printmaking. And I only made one woodcut, and I had good tools there. A good craftsman never blames his tools, but this tool is, beginner, which I am a beginner. And you have to make your drawing with woodcut in mind, and I think with all printing you have to sort of a little bit, but this drawing I didn't, and each one of these little cuts, blades have their own little tricky things. Like this one likes to slip a lot, but it gives a good little turn when you turn it. Those kind of things. So I'm going to do this skeptical groundhog, Le Marmot Sceptique, and see if we can get some prints off of this block. I have something to give to people who've been interested in this. I mean, this medium should lend itself to the fur of a groundhog, I guess, but, depending on whose hands blade's in. So I got a whole lot of little skinny together things here, and it's some, I don't know. I'm not going to start whining yet, but typically that's what I do. I whine. I went to ETSU to study education, to be a school special ed teacher. I'd gone to a junior college, a 2-year college, and I was almost done with that and working at a factory, and I just got tired of that. So I went to ETSU to go to their college of education, which is a pretty strong school. And I was walking through the campus, my first time on campus, and saw a building that said Ball Hall, Department of Art. And I was like, what? I had no idea you could learn art, or, that it was a thing. And, all I knew about France was what I'd heard in World War II, soldiers, this and that, but I had no idea what art was or what France was, nothing. So anyhow, I'd walk up the second floor, and in that studio, which I would spend hours upon hours the next 5 years, even after I'd gone to the school before that, a lot of the hours didn't transfer. So I ended up with 17 hours or 15 hours or something like that from that year and a half of study and since then, it's a lot more seamless for students to leave that two-year college and transfer their credits. They're pretty much seamless, I think, now, but back then they were not regarded with the same respect. So pretty much had to take everything over, like even literature one, kind of. So anyhow, I walk into this class and it's a still life, and I still remember there was a orange vest and a hard hat, and the students were doing, I think, painting, can't remember. So I said to the teacher, professor, hey, what are you all doing? And he looked at me and he said, why don't you get out of here? I said, okay. So I went down the hallway and stood for a minute, and then I came back in. I was like, no, really, what are y'all doing in here? And he said, if you'll go out in the hallway and wait till the class is over, I'll be happy to come out and talk to you. Well, he didn't say be happy. He wasn't that kind of dude. But he said, I'll come out and talk to you. So I waited, and he came out. And he said, well, we're learning to paint. I was like, what? And I had never drawn anything. Well, drawn a little bit, and painted a little. No, I don't know if I'd ever painted. Maybe. But no. And so anyhow, after I talked to him for a bit, I went back down to the administration building and changed my major to art that same day. I never walked in the education building. I'd still, think about how cool it'd been to be a special ed teacher. But something just took me over there to this. So there it is. John did say one time, he told me that he's the longest tenured professor in the Board of Regents system at the time, so almost 40 years, I think. He said I was the best student he ever had. He didn't tell me, he told my friend. And I learned his way, abstract expressionist way, so I've been unlearning that since. Really can't, because there's some stuff that's just pretty human about it. Some of the ideas, but then, in some ways I feel like I'm a self-taught artist, because that's a lot of what abstract expressionism was, is like what's in you is what matters, not what somebody tries to teach you to learn to do. Paraphrasing greatly there for people that know better. Apologies. All right. Well, more of this.